Hey guys, Matt here from DCL Blogger, going to answer or try to give my opinion on why I think the Mana coin just went nuts the other day, but it hit a high of, I believe, like $4.80 or something. So this is a CoinGecko chart. It doesn't actually show the full, like exactly how things touched, but it shows here the last 24-hour high was $4.11. I think it definitely reached like something like $4.80, which is insane because a few days ago, it was about $1. Wow. So October 29th, it was 80 cents to $1. And then suddenly it's become the central news story of the crypto market for a while. Not just Decentraland, but the virtual worlds concept, this metaverse thing. So I'm just going to go through a few reasons as to why I think it sort of went that high and what I think it'll do in the coming year, the next few months. Sort of price targets, which I don't really like to talk about too much, but just based on my intuition, I'll just give a few opinions. Now, technical analysis is something I do personally for myself. I'm definitely not that good at it, so this is not really based on technical analysis. This is more based on the fundamental happenings and the rumblings of the project, right? So the other day, Facebook rebranded to Meta, and everyone kind of learned about the rebrand, and it was a pretty big deal for a company like Facebook to do a whole shift in strategy and go pretty much all in on this metaverse concept, which had a lot of people thinking, well, what the hell is a metaverse and what's going on here, right? So a lot of people learned about virtual living, virtual world, and why they think that's going to be the future. And Facebook pretty much committing $10 billion to build that future. Had a lot of people also asking, well, how do we invest in this, right? So we had this come out, and this happened about a few days after, or maybe a week after, the Decentraland festival. So you can see here we had a big concert in Decentraland. We had Dead Mouse playing live. We had a bunch of other musicians come and play live. You can see, and a lot of people they met up and went to different events and things. There was Paris Hilton that made an appearance. It was insane what happened. You can see a bunch of different people were hanging out, going to private areas, VIP areas, using NFTs to get access to the VIP areas, doing interviews with artists after they performed. And it kind of gave people a glimpse of how NFTs and crypto and blockchain will come together to make this thing happen. It was actually super cool to see like people wearing wearables and NFTs. Their names were NFTs. They were using their NFTs to get access, like I said before, to special areas, and everything was sort of coming together. It's like, wait a second, this is all kind of coming to that space. And then after a while, we also held another sort of event. It was kind of like this Shark Tank event where people could where people could pitch their ideas, and you can see a bunch of people again, where people were basically meeting up, and this was a Shark Tank event where people were pitching their ideas, and the community could vote on who gets $500 or $1,000 funding or a grant or something to kickstart whatever they're building. But it was like people, just before that moment, just before that rebrand of Facebook, people could see what was going down with Facebook, and I think a lot of people were like, oh, wait a second, that's interesting. It seems like these NFTs and blockchain are coming together in a virtual style. So again, with Facebook kind of going all in, signaling to the whole world that they're going all in the metaverse, Decentraland starting to show some awesome, some stability behind them. They still have a long way to go until aesthetics are better and until like things are more smoother and you can fit thousands of people in the world. But definitely with the festival and sort of these sort of concepts, there's more trust and faith in that. And then on top of that, you had Barry Silbert, which is one of the largest investors in Decentraland. I think he has like 4,000 pieces of land and 100 million mana. He's got a ton, right? So they were a very early investor in Decentraland. They put a lot of capital into the ICO, and he was going hard in talking about mana and what it does. Decentraland DAO holds over 200 million mana, worth $600 million. Basically talking about mana a lot, what mana is, blah blah. Looking for a non-Facebook metaverse play, check out the Grayscale Decentraland Trust. So he has also a trust product in his fund that institutional investors can buy, which holds mana. So I think they got a lot of investment interest for the Mana token. And I think all of that culminated. I don't know if that's the right word or even how you pronounce it, but it all came together to sort of push Decentraland and kind of put Decentraland on center stage, and not just Decentraland, but also other metaversey projects. So you can kind of see Decentraland. You also had the Sandbox do quite well, went up 100% in the last 7 days. So I think that also hit a $2.30 or something. And then you also had Somnium Space that did its thing. So Somnium Space cubes that went nuts too. So this hit $12.15. I think it hit like $16.70. $16.70 cubes hit, and that was from Somnium Space. So suddenly it had people scouring the blockchain world and looking for a virtual world that they could invest in. There's only like 3 to 4 that have a cryptocurrency that are out there that you can buy. There'll probably be more, but I think that's definitely why it happened. Now, will Decentraland to keep going up? Is Mana a good buy? I think projects like Mana, Sandbox, Somnium Space, etc. I think they are so far ahead of a lot of other virtual world projects. They've got a product that you can actually go and view and invite people to. They've done years of building and figuring out and fine-tuning, 2 to 4 years. So other virtual projects that are coming out now will be years behind in coming to a position that you can actually go in and use it on a large scale like this, like inviting thousands of people and having a place and building your NFTs in and doing live streaming, all those sort of things. I think anything new will have a long way to go. So because of that reason, these guys are, I think, quite far ahead, whether it be Decentraland and the Sandbox. So in 3-4 years, yes, there may be more metaverse projects, but these guys will have a much more polished, not more polished, but they will also be 3 years ahead on what they already have. So I think in terms of having, I think the front runners like Decentraland and Sandbox, Somnium Space, I think that if the metaverse thing comes into fruition, I think at least one of these guys will be a big play. So I've got a good chunk of my capital in here, because I still think if there is a bull run and Bitcoin hits 60,000 USD to 100,000 USD plus, I definitely think a lot of that capital will hit the virtual world thing, the metaverse thing will happen, especially when DCL hits VR, it works on mobile, the graphics get better, and the product is looking much more polished and even better. A year from now, 2 years from now, I can definitely see it going higher. I'm not going to really make short-term predictions. I definitely think it can get to $5, $10. I mean, it was $4.50. It just has to double, triple from there to hit, $10, $12. It seems like it's not out of reach, right? I just think it's definitely one if you think it's going to hit that. Is it going to 100x anytime soon? Probably not. I think it's it sits on a $3 to $4 billion market cap, so it needs a lot of new capital to come in. But definitely in terms of a strong play in the metaverse, I don't see why that won't do well long term, as long as all of crypto keeps doing quite well. All right, guys, that is it. I hope you guys learned something about the Mana token, and I'll see you guys in another video. Take care. Bye.